Okay, viewers, welcome back to Ray's Way, and if you're new, thanks for stopping by. On today's episode of Ray's Way, I do have another do-it-yourself project. Now, it's been a little bit of time since I added a video to that type of playlist, but what we have here today is, if you ever run into a situation where your pipe leaks and you have a sealed ceiling and it kind of leaks on your drywall, and after all the plumbing work is done and the leak is taken care of, now you got this big hole in your ceiling. So, in this particular case, you know, since it is the ceiling, what I do here is basically you can do this in a wall. Someone pushes a doorknob through the wall, or kids playing around and something like that, and you know, a hole gets put in the wall. These types of steps and procedures I'm doing here could work on any application like that. So just watch what I do, and we'll show you how to fix this yourself, and we'll take it from there. Okay, viewers, in order to complete this project to patch the hole in the ceiling, you will need some items like this. We've got a cordless drill, a square, a utility knife, some furring strips cut down, a drywall cutter. Either way, this will be maybe to square out the hole in the ceiling, and this will be used when I cut the drywall to piece. Some putty knives, joint compound, of course, a square, and some drywall screws, you know, various sizes, whatever you may need, you know, and so forth. So you saw the hole in the ceiling, and that's what it's going to be. We'll take it from there. Okay, viewers, as mentioned, here's the ceiling repair I'm going to be doing. If I can zoom in there. Now you see you got an elbow on the water line there, toilet line, whatever it may be, that was leaking. And obviously the plumber who came in here, you know, had to fix it, and you know, busted a hole in the ceiling, obviously, to get to where you need to be. Now this is one of the reasons why that generally in the basement, and that's where we are, this bathroom, generally drop ceilings may be the best idea for basements. Maybe not so much in a restroom. However, in this case, it would have been much easier to gain access and not have to repair it if there was just a ceiling towel in the way type of thing. So throw it out, get a new one, you're good to go. But here, you got to go through the expense and time and effort to repair this. So one thing you got to look out for when you're in here is, though, is, you know, what's up there. You know, you see there's a fan there, you know, is there any electrical lines? On the other side of this wall is the garage, okay? So let me get up there and see what may be in our way and things that we have to worry about before we start punching knives in the ceiling to try to square that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make this a square, try to square this out so when I put the drywall up, it fits in there square, and instead of trying to fix this, try to fix this round asshole, you know. But the idea is we'll get some furring strips, and we'll run the furring strips across that, screw those in, and then have the drywall screw those into the furring strips. And I do want to, like, have as much open as I can. That way, if there ever a problem again, it'll be easier to get at, let's say. So, but when it's all said and done, you're not going to know where everything's at anyways. So, let me get this started. Let me measure, square this out. We'll cut this with the drywall screw, drywall cutter, or maybe a utility knife, because the drywall cutter is kind of primitive, let's say, and it, you know, it's kind of a rough cut compared to scoring it or trying to cut it with a utility knife. You make it a cleaner cut on that. So let me take it from here, and we'll show you where we're at. Okay, viewers, like I was saying, if you look to see what we have here up in this hole, you know, there are also some utility lines. Again, right here, real close to where we cut. So if you're going to be taking this drywall knife and trying to make a straight edge here, we don't want to be cutting that. Obviously, there's some lines in here, some other lines that may have to do with some utilities, wire, what's that, phone line, whatever that may be, you know. So you got a line here, you got another line here. These aren't no phone lines, obviously, but then you got this line coming across right here. So you definitely want to watch what you got going. Now over here, it doesn't look, hit that off. Doesn't look to be like any issues going this direction, but we'll have to check and see. So what my next plan is what we're going to do is we're going to measure from the wall. And if my square was longer, it would have been great. But what we're going to do is we'll measure from the wall, get a marking here, measure from the wall here, get a marking, run a straight line across it, and that way I can cut and get a square line. Now what's nice, conveniently what happened here is the joist will run up on the joist. So I'll clean this line and they'll be right up on the joist. And one of these furring strips, let me grab this furring strip real quick. Okay, now this furring strip here, what I'm going to do is I'll get this in here like this, right? And I'm going to put it, once I clean it all off and get this stuff, debris out of the way, I'll screw into the wall here this way just to get some, get it out a little bit. And then I'll get the next one and I'll butt it up to there. And that way when I cut this and screw into it, I'll have something good to screw into, okay? And what we'll do is like back here, that's where you put the screw holes in to connect to the furring strip on the outside. And then when we put your drywall pieces in, we'll screw into that to screw the piece that it's going to fill the hole and keep it up. And we'll patch around it with the putty and so forth. But we'll show you all that, but this is just the idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some straight lines. We'll mark it all off, then we'll start the cuts. So let me get the lines marked and we'll take it from there. One thing else that we can see here, viewers, is, I don't know if you can see, this right here, this line is nice and straight. Okay, so there's plaster over here, of course. This is the old tape line, the joint line. Okay, so you got the one board here that this ended to. So we want to keep, I'll keep that. I'll work this line. And then you can see, maybe without the light on, you'll be able to, you can see the joint in here. But not as much when I got the light on it. But anyways, it's nice that I have a flat edge to go with on this side. So I'll just stay with that joint and cut up as far as I need to, cut across, and get this crap out of here and replace. Okay, so let me mark my lines. Okay, viewers, just to give you an idea again of what we're doing. So since I was right on the beam, I'm gonna, I just took this straight across it, okay? And I measured over to 11 inches, because 11 inches is good enough. You know, take it here, and we'll do 11 inches up on this side, on the other side of the thing. Now, what's nice about this, like I said, this is a straight edge of the existing, of the full piece of the drywall, okay? So I can take this out just as deep on this side, following the same idea. So I'll run this edge just like that, and you can see the joint line right here, okay, if you look. So I'll get to a point here, then once I get to this point, how far I want to come out, because this seems to be the farthest point, then I'll mark that. I'll measure that from the wall. I'll probably just get a straight measurement, whatever, so it's even, you know, like a square. And I don't want like 11 and 14 sixteenths. You know, I'll take it to, you know, 12 inches or whatever, and then get a straight square cut, okay? And again, you want to make sure, again, there's nothing. Now there is, what I recognized over here, if you can see, this water line. It's supposed to be a water line as well. So again, I don't know if you can see it in the camera there. Yeah, there's a water line I got to be concerned about. So that's another thing I don't want to go too far over, where I'm poking into that water line, scuffing it, you know, giving a weak area where later on it will have a pin line hole in it. So got to watch that as well. So let me get this this side going here, and I'll show you my progress. Okay, viewers, so there's my mark. It's a little bit dark there for you, but that's at 15. if I find that pipe, the pipe is basically over here. So I want to get enough here so I can get this out of the way and be at the 15. I should be far enough away from the pipe so I don't have to worry about hitting that. So I'm gonna just clean this line up all the way to there. Then I'll hit out 15 inches on this side, run a line and cut that with my utility, with my saw. And that way I got that side, and again, we'll mark it off to that corner there. And you just want to make sure things are square, you know. So when I cut the piece, I want it to fit in there squarely and make it easier to fill in the holes and the joints and so forth. Okay, viewers, so again, what I did is, now you can see the idea what I did here. You know, I marked, you know, where I'm going to come to. So it's a nice square piece. Then what I'll do is I'll measure and make sure that piece fits in there, and then we're good. Okay, but let me cut this out with the drywall knife, and we'll get that all cleaned up, and I'll show you what that looks like once we're done cutting. If you are now, viewers, now that I cut that out, just give you an idea what the hole looks like. And again, you know, I'll clean this up with the, there you go, knock that shit off right there, because that's gonna get filled anyways. And there'll be my nice, somewhat smooth and square hole. Now, next thing I need to do is these, again, some furring strips. So, okay, my thing got cut off here. So, again, these furring strips are 18 inches, and this hole going this way is 11 inches. So, I have 3.5 inches of play on each side to screw into. So, you know, I can measure over like 2 inches, tag it, 2 inches, tag it, and then I'll be able to, when I put that piece in, just hit it anywhere I want on the again, keeping in mind what's up and above here. So the other one I'll put on this side. And again, we are away from this pipe. So when I lay the other one here, I'm gonna lay it going across right here, and I could tag into it there, leaving this still open if we need to make sure we check for, you know, if this starts leaking again or so forth. And maybe I would give the plumber still room to work, possibly, without ripping it all out again. So we'll take it from there. Let me screw these in. Let me put these in, and I'll show you what it looks like once I got the supports in. Okay, viewers, so I took the speed square here as a little guide type of thing. So what I did is I marked these things at like the 3.5 inch mark on both sides. And also up here. And obviously what that does is shows you that it's generally in there centered. That way I know on each side of these I have like the 3.5 inches that I can use for that support. Okay. Ideally, you know, I was just concerned about how far I can get this in this hole type of thing when I cut these, but that should be plenty of strength. We're only keeping up a 11 by, I don't know, I'll measure 11 by 11, 11 by 13 piece of drywall. So anyways, also what I will do is I'll be able to mark from the hole 2 inches back, or 1 7/8 or whatever I choose it to be. That way I can drill in and lag in the drywall screws to hold that in place. Okay, so now I'll put all these other things in, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's completed. Okay, viewers, as you can see right here, I got a drywall screw. This is a 1.25 inch coarse drywall screw, and what I used that to come up from underneath. All right, that way it goes through the existing drywall, goes through the furring strip, but doesn't protrude out the top other than a little tip, just in case that you're ever running wires or pulling stuff across, or you don't want nothing to get snagged and have anything up there that's would be a potential risk for fire type of thing if it hits the wire or so forth. So Just want to make sure that those are just out of the way. And I did put a piece on here like I indicated. That, it doesn't matter since it's going into the joist. I used a 2-inch drywall screws for that. Obviously it's just what I had, but it was beneficial anyways. So when I measure this piece, I'll cut the drywall, and let me show you. Let me cut the drywall. Let me measure this, cut the drywall, and we'll show you how it fits. Okay. Again, I'll just give you a look from the floor, how it is right now. Okay, viewers, what I did is I cut I measured the size of the hole, and what I did is I cut it 4 inches bigger, 2 inches all the way around. And what I did is when I scored the back of it for what size is going to fit in the hole, and I peeled it away and left the face on here, that acts as your tape line. So when I put this in, it should cover up the seams, you know, that, and you don't have to worry about taping it. Saw this done on some other videos. I'm going to give it a shot here. What we'll do is I'll dry fit it in there, see how it fits. If I can screw that in, and then I can go back and peel these down, lay some putty down there, some mud, drywall mud. Squeegee this down to it, cover it, and try to put some kind of texture on it to kind of match the ceiling. Maybe wrinkle up some, crinkle up some paper and tap it, or I even have a brush. Okay, so we'll see what we can do. But let me try to put this in and see where we are. Okay, viewers. So I got the piece up and in. And so let me tell you what I meant by cutting it oversized. So since I cut it oversized, I was able to fold this back. And that way I was able to see where the screws were. Okay? Where that furring strip was from behind. So I was able to come back here and hit it. Same way on the other side. I'm over here, I fold it back. Boom, I see where it is, line it up. Same way here, okay? So now all we do is put the compound on here, flatten it out, same way, all the way around. You got your tape line. You got your tape line on here. And then you can gloss over from there. So there you go. I'm gonna start mudding it up real quick, and we'll take it from there. Now, I may have to just do a quick one here, and come back after it dries and do it again just to get the final coat and so forth on there. So okay, viewers, at this point, this is where I'm gonna let it go for today. You know, it's, you know, once you put that mud on there, it absorbs into that paper and it makes it pretty wet. So I don't want to let's get it to a year, and then we'll put some more coats on it, and we'll rough it into the ceiling, and we're pretty much good to go. And it's up to the homeowner to you know, paint it or do whatever they want to do. But we'll come back, give it a day, come back in 24 hours, and put some more coats on it and get this cleaned up a little bit better. Fan it out a little bit more and so forth. So there we go. So far for today, and we'll continue next time. All right, day 2, back at it. And all I got to do now is try to blend this in. It's going to be a little bit difficult. You're not going to be able to match it perfectly, of course, because this pattern is a little bit different. However, with a damp roller or brush, paintbrush and so forth, we'll be able to at least get something there, so you know, kind of hopefully becomes unnoticeable. But we'll see what it is, but we'll take it from there. Okay, viewers, there's going to be like the finished product. I don't think I'm going to mess with it anymore. The more you play with it, the more you mess it up, type of thing. So what that's going to do, when it dries up, it's going to blend mostly into that. Now, of course, what I used was a nap roller, and then a crushed up piece of paper that I was able to press into it to give you some texture. And with this being so wet, you had peaks. So what I did is I smoothed over the peaks, you know, tried to blend this in a little bit with that, but also took the trowel and just once I got where the peaks were like reduced, then I just took this and blended it across to give you that type of look. Now when the homeowner, you know, obviously when this dries, it's going to be, you know, bright white compared to what's up there. But another way to hide when you like paint the ceiling, you mix in the joint compound with your paint, and you put it in on your nap roller, a bigger nap roller, and as you roll that, that's going to give you a new texture all the way across, consistently across the ceiling, and that way it's going to blend in, and you won't even know it's there. So there you go. Simple and easy project. Just took a few hours of your time. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Raiseway.